Welcome to the Forsyth Magazines podcast. I'm your host, Brooke Culler, bringing you the stories of the people shaping our community. From business owners to local leaders, we'll explore their journeys, passions, and lessons learned. Let's dive in. Hey guys, we're back with another episode, and today I have Julia Tanner. She is the Director of Teaching and Learning at the Reynolda House and also the curator of the current exhibit that they have. How are you doing today?
Doing well. Thanks so much for having me.
Yeah, thanks for coming. I am so excited to talk about the current exhibition at Reynolda House and just your role there. Such a beautiful place. I had the pleasure of going to see the exhibition for a photo shoot that we did, and it's just so fun. There's so many like tactical aspects of it, and it's not your traditional exhibition.
Yeah, we tried very hard to create something that would be accessible and make art not feel too stuffy.
Yes.
I want art to be approachable.
Yeah.
And so that was what I was thinking about in creating the exhibition.
Yeah. So, Julia, how did you get to Reynolda House, and kind of tell us about what that looked like from I don't know, the last few years?
Sure. I'll try and do it in a short arc. I went to college at Guilford in Greensboro, studied psychology and studio art, and then eventually went to graduate school in the history of decorative arts because I knew I was interested in museums, and I figured that I wanted to be a curator. I wanted to put together exhibitions and use objects to teach people about our past, about culture, and I figured I needed to know something about something. And I like objects, so I went and did that. And so at that time, I thought, I'm going to be a curator. That's what I want to do. I had a museum education internship that it didn't click for me. So like, oh, I'm not a museum educator. And then I was looking for jobs, and there was a posting at Reynolda for a museum education job. And I didn't look at it. I was like, oh, well, that's museum education. That's not what I do.
Yeah.
And then I had a friend send it to me. And then another person from a different part of my life sent it to me. I was like, okay, pay attention.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Here's my sign. Multiple signs.
Yeah, I need to listen here.
Yeah.
And I read the job description. I was like, oh, that's what I want to do. I can do that. That'll be really fun. I can learn how to do the things I don't know. And I lucked out, and they actually ended up giving me the job eventually.
How long ago was that?
That was 14 and a half years ago.
Wow.
Yeah, so I've been there for a while and have learned since then that I'm totally a museum educator.
Yeah. Oh my gosh,
yeah.
I love that. So are you from the area?
High school and college in Greensboro.
Okay.
But have lived in other parts of the eastern U.S.
Okay. So I want to talk about a little bit more about the current exhibition. It's called Layered.
Layered looking,
Okay.
making sense of art, because we always have to put a colon in our titles. It's just like a
Make it
rule.
long. Yeah. So yeah, I want to just hear how long it's going to be around, and what people can expect when they come to visit.
Absolutely. So it's on view now until July 19th, and that's when it will close. And what people can expect to experience is our collection of art. So we have, as a museum, there are some things that we always are responsible for and sometimes get to put on the walls and sometimes store away. And so I've pulled from that collection, and people can expect an eclectic mix of art. So there's paintings from the 70s. There's really highly detailed paintings from the mid-1800s. There's sculpture. There's some really fun and funny works and some more serious works. So eclectic is a good word for it.
Yeah.
And then while they're there, they can expect some information about the art. If they want it, they can find prompts with suggestions of how to look at art, how to engage with it. And then there are also some hands-on areas where people can have a different way of looking at art by having a hands-on, we have a texture board where so you can look at some paintings and then touch textures and see how does that impact your looking, or play music. How does that impact the way that I look at a work of art?
Yeah, so it's very kid-friendly.
Very kid-friendly. And in fact, there's a whole room in the middle with some activities that connect to the art. I don't know how much people are thinking deliberately about the connections, but it's designed into it.
Yeah.
And so people can read some books that relate, or make shapes and draw and things like that in the middle.
What a perfect summer activity, especially when it's 18 million degrees outside.
Yes, we are air conditioned.
Yeah, and there's some like multimedia things I remember seeing in there.
Yeah.
And then also I know, tell me about like the class portion. Like there's like not arts and crafts, but like
Yeah.
there's a classroom, which I had no idea.
Yeah, we have our studio classroom, and we've been offering some Saturdays where people can drop in and make art. We'll have to transition out of that for this summer because we'll have our summer camps.
Okay.
But we also have some spaces still in our art camps if
Okay.
people have kids in elementary school and want them making art. So
Yeah, what does the summer camp experience look like?
So we have writing camps and art camps and nature camps at Reynolda. The Young Naturalist nature camps are outdoors, making connections with a variety of things about biology, going in the creek, looking at plants, how plants are made, or like what are the parts of plants, and much more. And then in our creative writing camps, we have for elementary school and teens, so like 6th through 9th grade, where they look at art and get to write a variety of things like poems, stories.
Yeah.
And then in our art camp, also for elementary school age, kids get to look at art and do a project each day inspired by an object in the gallery.
Oh, I love that.
Those are either the 4-day camp for our young naturalists or a 5-day camp for art and writing.
Okay. How would you go about signing up for?
If you wanted to
those?
look at that, you would go to our website, www.reynolda.org/summer-adventures.
Okay. Very cool. So, Julia, what are some things coming up for Reynolda maybe later this year that you're excited about?
Yeah, so this fall, we are really digging into the semi-sesquicentennial, if I said that correctly. That one's a hard one. But the 250 years, we're going to have our permanent collection on display in the historic house, where we're looking at art and democracy. How does the art collection help us think about challenges in American history, interesting stories, moments of patriotism, a wide variety of things. And I'm also looking forward to an exhibition we'll have in the fall called, I don't have the title in my head.
That's okay.
Flashpoint Civil Rights Photography of Danny Lyon.
Okay.
And so he was a photographer for the Student Nonviolent Coordinating Committee and documented students being activists in the civil rights movement. Martin Luther King Jr. will appear on the wall. So will Bob Dylan. So
cool.
The interesting and a powerful moment in American history.
Yeah.
Documented.
So if people want to come check out the layered exhibition, what do the hours look like? Do you need to register in advance? Can you just walk in? What does that look like?
Great questions. So we are open Tuesday through Saturday from 9:30 to 4:30, and then Sunday afternoons from 1:30 to 4:30. You can buy a ticket online. That's great. Or you can show up. There are also some free categories. So there is admission for the museum, but if you go to the public library, you can check out a pass to get in 2 adults for free. And there's some other free categories. If you go to reynolda.org and our page visit, it will list some ways of getting in.
Very cool. Yeah. And this is probably a dumb question that I should know the answer to. But how are the Reynolda House Museum and then the actual Reynolda House, are they physically connected?
Yes.
And how does, like, if you do they, like, a house tour, how does that process work?
Great question. And timely too. So at this very particular moment, the historic house portion of Reynolda House, so what was R.J. Reynolds' home, that is temporarily closed for visitation because we're doing an HVAC renovation project.
Okay.
We had some air handlers that are old and needed to be replaced so that we can keep the art and furniture at the right humidity and temperature. So that will stay closed until August.
Okay.
But the new wing that we added in 2005 that has our temporary galleries and the layered looking, making sense of art, that is still accessible. But it was sort of neatly tacked on to the historic house. But that's the part that's open now, along with the museum store.
Okay. And then in August, it'll all be open.
And in August, it'll all be open. Well, the historic house will be open, and then the gallery will come on a little bit later because it takes time to change out from one to the next.
I can't imagine. How long does that process take?
It depends on what you're hanging. Photographs are a little easier to get up on the wall, but
what a process for something.
Process.
I mean, because I'm sure some of that art is insanely heavy.
Yes, and you have to be use
so
really
careful.
Proper techniques for moving it.
Yeah. What's something that you like a crazy story that comes to mind for one of the exhibitions that you've put together over the years?
I'm not great at coming up remembering these things.
That's okay. We can come back to it.
Yeah.
So yeah, we talked about what's coming up. We talked about the house. What's your favorite part of just Reynolda in general? We have the beautiful Reynolda Gardens. We have Reynolda Village. We have the museum. We have the historic house. It's just such a great spot. What's your all-time favorite portion of it?
Oh, that's impossible to answer. I think, I love the beauty of it that can be found in the woods, walking my dog, in the formal gardens without my dog, or in the house, having a moment with a work of art. Really just being able to experience beauty at Reynolda.
We're so lucky to have it right here in our backyard. I feel like people drive a pretty good distance to come see it.
It is an attraction and a great place to come when we have new exhibitions or to bring family when they're in town or friends.
Yeah, it's definitely a list check off for when out-of-towners come in.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Dojos, get some donuts.
Always a good place to stop.
The dumpling spot, I like going there.
Mayway.
The crepe, the penny
path.
Yeah. All the good restaurants. I would be eating
and Theodore's
all the time if I worked in Reynolda in Reynolda. Well, Julia, it was so much fun to chat with you. Anything else that you want to talk about before we sign off?
Well, I hope that people will come and visit Reynolda. It'd be great to see the exhibition and maybe make a new friend with a work of art that you haven't seen before.
Yeah.
That's my goal, is to help people feel comfortable looking at art.
And I do want to reiterate that it is very kid friendly. So it's a family affair. Bring the kiddos. Make a day of it. It's perfect little summertime activity.
And then get donuts afterwards.
Yes, bribe them with donuts
after.
Do not come with your donut sticky hands. Well, thank you, Julia. And remind us one more time of the website where you can go to get your admission tickets.
Yep. If you visit reynolda.org, that's REYNOLDA.org, you can find out information about our hours, ticketing, summer camps, programs, and more.
Awesome. Well, Julia, thanks so much for coming to chat with us.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
Yeah. And as always, you can find Forsyth Mags online at forsythmags.com and on Instagram at forsythmags. And if you enjoyed this episode, or if you've ever enjoyed one of our episodes, we would love it if you would leave us a rating or a review. And that is all we got for today. That's a wrap. Thanks, guys. The views and opinions stated on this podcast are solely those of the contributors and not necessarily those of our distributors or hosting companies. This podcast is copyrighted and cannot be reproduced without expressed written consent of Forsyth Magazines Incorporated. Ooh, that's a mouthful.